Hey there! Is today your first time here? Or maybe your first time in a while? If so, maybe you're wondering exactly who we are and what this church is all about. Well, we'd like you to know that we're a group of ordinary people who are on an amazing journey together, following Christ. Our guide is the Bible because it's the divinely inspired Word of God, and it will never take us in the wrong direction. Along the way, we hope you'll see that we are welcoming and spiritually passionate, and that getting to know you is a big deal to us. We know that the road is rough sometimes, but we'll work really hard to bring you practical and relevant messages to equip and encourage you through life's ups and downs. We want you to know that we care about this community, and we believe that it's our job to make it a better place. So, no matter who you are or where you've been, we're glad you're here with us today, and we hope that you'll join us on our journey, following Christ and living out His plan for us. So welcome to church, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Once again, my name is Scott Mendenhall, joining with a great cast of characters. Let's put it on the widescreen so you can see the studio on this fine, brisk morning in Minnesota. That's Lily over to my left. That's Holly, wearing a very festive buffalo check. Lily bringing in the gallons and gallons of water with
and
her
big...
And
my Grinch sweater.
And the Grinch, yeah, we got
and
it all.
Have...
Lily said that this was not very festive.
I didn't notice
what?
the guy had a Christmas hat on.
The guy. It's the fact that you're saying the guy is offensive.
The guy.
Yeah.
I know who he is.
You just, like, this is like symbolic with Santa's face, really, I think, at Christmas time.
I would have expected you to say Griswold's.
Who, me?
No, her.
She doesn't know what she's talking about. I like how you have candy canes dangling from your, not distracting at all.
Did you get my candy cane?
I did, thank you. Three of them.
You.
3 of them as if I'm a candy sweet guy, right here. Uh-huh.
So you have the red Starburst flavor, the green Starburst flavor, and Skittles flavor.
Ooh, the red's got me. It makes my mouth water right now. But I got no time for that. You know, is your Christmas season as hectic as ours at times? You got a list to shop for. You've got to get people things. You got to get the parties. You got to get the ice skating events. You got to get service online. All of it. Christmas Eve service. It's a wild, wild world we live in. Lily did start her day with her shirt on backwards, though, everyone. Came into the studio, did 3 hours of life in the studio. How do you feel about that, being told after teaching in front of students with it on backwards? How do you feel?
I don't have it on backwards on Wednesday.
How did you? What is going on in your life today that you wore backwards?
I just thought, there it goes. That's how it goes.
Did you really know it was on backwards?
No, I had no idea.
Okay. I was going to say, that's not like you to not.
Unbelievable. Okay, put it in the chat, though, if you think this is festive. Or you agree with
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Great.
You've seen
About
the movie.
time to watch that movie again.
Yeah, it is. There's a few fast forward scenes. Always got to say that if you have kids. Okay.
True.
It's true. There's just some adult appropriate stuff and kids are not appropriate.
I mean, that's Hollywood for you.
My question that we are going to move on to is: did you know that we're going to be live on the 28th of this year?
What?
We already have the thumbnail on the YouTube channel, and we have it here too.
You can see it. This is what you're going to search for on January 28th, 8 a.m. live. We are going to field your questions live. You're really going to try to stump us, and we're not looking for like mathematical equations. We'll be stumped all day. Look at that. It's the AI versus the real deal there. It's great. You got to love it. Just excited. Q&A.
That's so funny.
Community and conversations with the podcast crew. We're excited about it. If you got your questions about Jesus, Bible, does Jesus have anything on this? We're going to field those questions live with you. It'll be a great way to bring in the new year, set up the new year. So we're excited to do that.
So come in live.
Yes, come hang with us on the 28th of this fine year of 2025.
Nice.
So we're excited.
Last Sunday of the year.
The other thing we had around in the office the other day, we have interns and they're going on Christmas break on Sunday. We did a white elephant gift exchange. And the thing we learned about white elephant, right, ladies, is that they're always different.
You never know. And the rules are different.
Rules are different.
What the expectations are different.
We had
different
ones.
Can you spend money? Can you not spend money?
Right. It was pretty fun. People did start stealing. It's funny how that takes a little bit. Once somebody steals, it's on.
Yeah.
People must want to be like noble in that and not going to steal.
My gift got stolen like 3 times.
Yeah. What was the first one you had?
The one you got,
yeah.
The car, yeah, which I ultimately ended up with to give to my little son, Rev. The minute she opened it, I knew I was going to steal it, and I had a feeling I would end up with it because Laura was behind me. I don't think it came from her house to begin with. Her son gifted it. I didn't think it was going back.
Well, as soon as you said this is going to be for Rev. I think
no one's gonna
seals the deal.
I don't need that.
No one's gonna be like, I'm taking that.
They might have.
And you went after me. I stole the coffee. I took the coffee.
Rightfully so. Great job. But anyways, we got a video that's another version of a white elephant gift, which is just as funny as ours or for a lot of fun. Maybe you had one this year. Maybe you're going to put it in the chat. You experienced you had a white elephant gift exchange at some point. That'd be hilarious. But enjoy this.
I got her! All right, my turn. All right, hold them up, people. Nice and high.
Nope, don't you do it. You want what's in the blue bag.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Keep chewing, please. All right, what do we got? Cat hairstyle book, velvet cowgirl, bag of meat.
An artfully crocheted bag o' meat.
Okay, just listen to me, guys. I'm telling you, I have a feeling you are going to love the super duper extra special thing that's in the blue bag.
Cowgirl, you're coming with me.
Oh!
Hey, Nancy. Hi, hey. Think you're making a really big mistake.
You mean like that time I let you dance with me in middle school?
You remember that?
Yes.
Please pick the blue bag. It'll make Kevin happy.
I don't want the blue bag.
Okay, thank you for your concern, Kevin. You can move now. Mine.
I had the perfect place for that. Okay, what do we got?
Please pick something good.
Like these fine logs of fully processed meat parts.
Blue bag, blue bag, blue bag. Come on, blue bag, blue bag, blue bag. We're not going to chant for the blue bag? If we chanted for Karen's Bob Ross Chia Pet.
That's because everyone loves Bob Ross.
You know what? Okay, I'll take the blue bag. A baby and hay?
Exactly, a baby and hay. What?
How's this a white elephant gift?
How is it not a white elephant gift? A baby and hay.
Kevin, did you get this in the Christmas section?
How did you know? I mean, of all the places. Oh, hold on. Raise your hand if you want a gift. Who wants that gift?
We all do. Yeah, I mean, you ask who wants the gift of a baby and hey, I think we all do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, was there also a feeding trough?
You mean the bonus firewood that came with it?
You burned the manger in the wood stove in your van?
Where baby Jesus slept in?
When he came into this world to save us from our sins?
Baby, hay, manger. None of this rang a bell?
Kevin, hey, you know what? The baby Jesus? Like, he's the original Christmas gift, right? We all want him. But we all need him.
Friends, I'm sorry I didn't see it, but now I do. Baby, hay, manger.
Yeah.
Christmas. Can I have that gift back, please?
Oh, no.
WWJD.
Huh?
Nancy's right. WWJD.
All right, yeah. Share Jesus at Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I'll take the meat.
Last week in our Greatest Gift, we want to say thank you to everybody that participated in Greatest Gift. Your generosity is very met with grateful hearts here, as it allows us to know what we can plan for in the future as an elders team, staff team. So thank you. If you still want to participate, it goes all the way through December here. You can give the Greatest Gift. And this week, we wanted to talk through live, what does your greatest gift and your resources go to Unlock Church? What do we do with them? What do we use? And over the weeks, we've used these things. In Greatest Gift, we've been trying to share the stories. Today, we've got pictures for you that we want to share with you in your Greatest Gift experience. Where do the resources go? Obviously, it goes to missions. Obviously, it goes to end human trafficking. It ends where people can't have water. It helps in the immediate needs of natural disasters. It helps see any immediate needs in locally here in putting people up in hotels when they're displaced and all those things. But also for the house, Unlock Church, it goes in the upkeep of ministries continuing to grow and look better as wear and tear, setup and tear down can happen. So today we thought we'd share some pictures. So I don't know the order of our pictures yet, so I will be surprised with you. Here's the first picture to show you some of the upgrades this past year, which is your very own studio, everyone.
Yeah, that's right where we're sitting.
That desk close to you is where Lily sits. You can see me would be in the center, but that microphone that's the closest to you, that's an entirely new setup this year because of your generosity. We were able to bring in guests like Laura, Brian, when we had Dr. Paul Middleton sitting in here. It was a actual spot that we could put and be able to use more personalities to spread the gospel digitally. That was done by your generosity. Same with going back to just the look around here as it evolves and changes. That's by your generosity. The technology of adding more technology in here to do what we do simpler to reach more people is because of your generosity. And so we're grateful for here. For those that, for online, like we want to do this. We want to take this and be able to continue to digitally spread the gospel. We also use your resources to upkeep our kids' environment, our students' environments, and the adults' environment. And here are some of those shots that we use the resources, tithes and offerings, to create environments like this. This is just last Sunday. The lights to create a scene like that, where you have the blue and you have just a spotlight. That's all created by new lights over this year that allows us to create a better environment for worship, for teaching. We didn't teach with all the lights on that week. The TVs, I'm sad to announce, but also grateful that we had resources. We've gone through 7 different TVs.
7.
As we set up in all our environments and their tear down, these TVs are not built for that. And so we use your resources to obviously fix the TVs. When they're broken, they're broken. There's no... our kids' environment.
Can't do anything about it.
Our kids' environments had a massive upgrade this week in safety and overall look. If we can put those up on the screen, those images are wonderful. This is that truss, the big arch in the back. That is brand new. That allows them to mount their TVs for safety. It allows them to hang all kinds of backdrops for an environment. It allows kids to run around in. The TVs are mounted well. And that is a massive upgrade for our kids' environment over this last year. Holly, you can speak to that.
Yeah, it totally is, and it allowed us to be able to open a preschool room, and it's in their they're in their own space. We upgraded some of the things for the safety in there, and for them to have the ability to be able to do a curriculum and worship together. So there's tons that happen in the kids to be able to make an environment that is exciting, fun, bright, welcoming, and safe. All of those things. So we're so appreciative.
Willie, with the student ministry, she also had upgrades and replaced some of the TVs, sadly, because they're set up and tear down. But you had an identical purchase to the kids' environment, that truss system, so your lights can mount on, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I mean, we want to create an environment that students, teenagers, middle school, and high schoolers will walk in and be wowed. And really, the hopes is that they don't, not the hopes, the expectation is that they might not go somewhere that looks this awesome anywhere else. And so for us to be able to provide that helps them, one, feel like they're in a fun environment, and then feel safe, and then feel excited to bring someone with. So,
which ultimately, all of these environmental changes allow us to spread the gospel in hopes that it's a comfortable, safe environment for everybody and that they can meet with God. And so your generosity helps that. Your greatest gift, those resources go to do that, and it tells a story throughout the year. So again, grateful for your partnership with us, being faithful with your generosity with your money. It's easy to give around here, especially in the digital means. You can text the number 77977 to the word unlock. We got an image for you to just follow along in that. As you text that, a prompt will come just like you see in that phone. It'll walk you through on the next steps. If you want to continue to give to our Greatest Give initiative, you just click the tab, Greatest Gift, and it'll be earmarked, and we'll be able to say how many people gave this year to Unlock Church at the end of December. Awesome. So it'll be really fun to have that total of individuals giving to Greatest Gift. This Sunday we did a live offering, and to see, I'm telling you, I love this, to see pennies in quarters in the giving, it tells me that people were giving not because they had a lot, but because, hey, it's kids coming in. This is what I got. This is my greatest gift. Love it because it's a heart. It's not an amount. It's a heart. And so if we would love your generosity. And again, we keep saying this is a great place to invest. Great place to invest for the next generation, those in needs that are not being met in maybe your world, like we mentioned earlier, sex trafficking and human trafficking. We are helping end that. We are putting in a dent because of your generosity. So thank you very much. Now we want to get into the next to last conversation in the Nativity story. This is Mary and Joseph. So we're going to watch our video that we've watched, one from each week, and then we're going to get into the topic today. Enjoy Mary and Joseph.
Somebody hit snooze on the donkey.
Hey, Gabriel, I thought you was in charge of making sure everyone got to sleep in heavenly peace.
Oh, not again. Joseph, would you mind? I'm exhausted.
It's impossible to get a good night's rest in this place. I haven't even slept more than 2 hours at a time.
Sounds like 2 more hours than me.
Mary, are you sure you want to play the Who Got More Sleep game right now?
And where do you think you're going?
Oh, perhaps a gift of gold might smooth things over for them.
You're a master at reading the stars, but reading the room, not so much.
Not to mention my 1,000-mile walk to Bethlehem for this ridiculous census.
And totally ignoring the 9 months of pregnancy I endured.
The pregnancy card death blow. Yeah, I don't think Joe has a way out, but let's see what his next move is.
All I'm saying is, dads are allowed to be tired too, you know.
I completely agree. Now please take your tired self over to Jesus and get him settled down again.
Ah, I believe the star is calling us this way. Yes.
But let's be honest, what trouble cannot be repaired with a little gold? Hello? Huh. 2 kings and not a spine between them.
I'm sorry, Joseph. That was rude of me. I know you're exhausted too.
Mary, I must confess something. I'm disappointed.
Disappointed? In me?
No. In God. I know. We should trust God, and I do trust God. But this isn't,
what you expected.
I had dreams for our family. Plans. I wanted certain things for us, for you, for our child. If this is God's will, God's son, why does everything seem so disrupted?
Maybe that's the point.
What?
Maybe it's the very reason he came. To disrupt everything and everyone. And you and me, we get a front row seat to see it all.
Hey, you two. Are we good now? Or should I go warm up the angel choir?
Hey, Gloria, take a hint, buddy.
No?
Do you think he knows?
I do.
Lily, I gotta ask, does that hit home, that lack of sleep?
Yeah. I mean, when I hear the crying, I'm like, I get it, Mary.
I get it, Mary. But, like, have you ever had that argument with Jordan, who's got the most sleep?
Oh, I mean, yeah. Sure.
What you?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, we're 6 years removed from that, and I still remember.
We've never argued about that. We absolutely know who got the least.
Yeah, you can tell in the tone. It was me.
That was never.
He's
no,
like,
you got
I
the
wake
most.
up every
I got the
time.
least.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we've never had an argument about it.
No. I'll go back and check in my diary. That I don't have. But
hey, if Mary and Joseph argued about it, I think it's okay.
Everybody, yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay. But again, I think it's hilarious when you read through the story. And Lily, it might be different this year. Now that you're mom, you can relate a little bit different of like, could you imagine, have you played it out this year? You gave birth in a hospital and for all intents and purposes, it was
comfortable,
smooth, right? You were in AC.
Yeah.
Could you imagine doing that in a barn with animals?
Couldn't imagine.
Would you be a hot mess?
Holly? Yeah.
Yeah, but if I'm picking who could handle it a little bit better, I would go default to Holly.
Obviously.
Not trying to get myself in trouble.
I think everyone watching knows that.
But as you read through the story, is it hit different?
Yeah, I mean, I can't even imagine.
Okay, that's great. You like when you say that, but you got to be able to go. What would you do in that moment?
I don't know. I mean,
wow, you really haven't put that much thought to it?
No, because that just isn't the reality. And the only thing I can think of is that where did they give birth normally? If the barn was
I would say their home, but they would have had
in their home,
they would have had a
right?
nurse, midwife type.
They would come into the house.
Yeah. So even for Mary, it was crazy.
Night and day different, I think. I do. People want to minimize, the day. I don't think anyone in any time period is like, hey, let's go out to the barn. Let's go from our house to the barn to give birth.
And you got to remember, Joseph says it in it. They're moving because the census, or they're there because of the census. So that was in and of itself.
Yeah,
not what would have been expected.
Well, I mean, again, we're trying to make this story come alive for even you at home. Plug your birth story if you're a parent into this. Sometimes it helps us put into that. Mary and Joseph are real people, real feelings. Remember how many, a couple days before you gave birth, we were saying, Lily, get sleep, rest, because you're gonna need energy. Could you imagine that not being an option, and you had a 90-mile journey riding a donkey through dust, and then you just put that into your story, and you still got to give birth in a hospital.
Yeah.
Wild.
It is wild.
And I think this is one thing that I've loved about these videos is just the portrayal of how we can actually take this story and apply it into our life. Of like Joseph says it, this is not what he dreamt of. This is not his idea. When he was going to marry Mary, this isn't what his thoughts were, And so it's like, he feels a little disheveled, and we can absolutely put that into our own life and apply that where we have felt like that. And then what do we do with it?
Yeah, I think when I read the story and I think about it, and I think about the whole play out of these are normal guy, girl, engaged. They made plans. Their plans are we're going to get married on this day. You are the woman I'm going to marry. I'm preparing a place for you. And they're making plans. And then God interrupts those plans. Do you, out of that statement there, do you live a life that's interruptible by God? Mm-hmm. Do you have space or capacity that you can allow God to interrupt what your plan is for your child's life, for your marriage, all of that? Or are you just saying, no way, not a chance, I can't even hear that? And we've alluded to this. We talked about hearing God's voice as a still calm whisper. And then Mary and Joseph's lives, they have a plan. And then the story is where God interrupts the plan. I wrote it like this. You are living your life, making plans, maybe even feeling like you've got it all figured out. There's groups of you that think this. Then God shows up with a completely different script. One that makes no earthly sense, but somehow feels eternally right. It doesn't add up mathematically. It's going to be hard to tell your in-laws. It's going to be hard to say to hey, I got this idea. It seems crazy, but I feel like God's the one leading this. We're going to do this. And people are looking going, I don't know how you're going to do that. Financially, it's not wise. And it's God jumping in. The famous theologian out there, some of you know him, John Lennon. That theologian is famously known for what, Holly?
Isn't he a Beatle?
Oh, there you go. Okay, you caught it. It was a pastor joke. Oh, there you go. Yeah, but he is famously known for a big line that we say: "Life happens while you're busy making plans." That's the shortened version of what he said. Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. That we make these plans, but while making the plans, life's actually happening, and God's always up to something. And so. What makes here's a question for you, Lil. When you think about Mary and Joseph's story, what makes it so powerful? What's the why? What's the why that makes their story so powerful?
Well,
it's very simple. I don't need a big.
They
what?
They said yes.
Oh, he nailed it.
Continued on.
Well done. They said yes to the unthinkable, wildest thing, and we know the outcome of their yes. What paralyzes us in our individual lives, we don't know the outcome to our yes to God because it's all fear. We see the fear part of the failure, all the F words you can put in there that are negative. Failure, faithless, you continue to live, it's going to be a problem, right? And so we don't want to say yes, but that's the whole entire story of Mary and Joseph. If you've been following along with printing out the outline, you can again go to where, Holly, to print it?
You can go to our website, unlockchurch.com, and then if you just look at the top, the nativity story, and you can have all of them right there for you.
And you can download this and follow along and fill in the blanks, everybody.
Yeah, and they're all right there for you, so you can go back and get from the past weeks.
So the number one, God's call often comes in unexpected ways. I mean, it seems obvious, I think. I mean, it doesn't make sense much to human thinking. We're going to go to Luke chapter 1 to really dive into this and how we got that. Here we go. We're going to put it on the screen. Luke chapter 1, verse 26. In the 6th month of Elizabeth's pregnancy, God sent an angel, Gabriel, to Nazareth, a town in Galilee, to a virgin pledged to be married to a man named Joseph, a descendant of David. The virgin's name was Mary. The angel went to her and said, "Greetings to you who are highly favored. The Lord is with you." Mary was greatly troubled at his words and wondered what kind of greeting might this be. Pause in the story. One, let's give a little bit of context. When you think about the location Nazareth, it makes sense to the three of us on this side of the camera because where we're currently residing is Corcoran, Minnesota. Nazareth is the ancient day Corcoran. Corcoran is a farm-based community. A couple thousand people live in Corcoran. No one even cares that you drive through Corcoran, meaning there are other cooler places to be, and you go through Corcoran, and you don't go, cool, we were just through Corcoran, there's so much to see. You just drive through it. It's kind of sad. It's one of the coolest places in Minnesota. Got great water, great lakes, kind of feel it running around here. It's on the way to the bigger and better things. That was Nazareth. Even later in scriptures, does anything good come from Nazareth? There's no signs in Corcoran saying the home of this famous football player, famous astronaut, famous tennis player, or chess player. Right? Have anybody seen any of those signs?
Nope, haven't seen.
You know how you go into some of the cities in the beginning of it, it's the home of nothing. This is the home of, I guess, a bunch of nobodies that's done nothing. Yeah. And I say it with a smile on my face. If you're in Corcoran, it's a great place. We live there. Lots happening. But no one thought of Nazareth as the Messiah would be from a descendant of Nazareth, okay? And so all of a sudden Mary is just doing her thing and an angel shows up and what kind of greeting this might be? Good, bad, is this on my 8? We'll continue with verse 30. But the angel said to her, "Do not be afraid. You have found favor with God. You will conceive and give birth to a son, and you are to call him Jesus. He will be great, and he will be called the Son of the Most High. The Lord will give him the throne of his father David, and he will reign over Jacob's descendants forever. His kingdom will never end." Verse 34. "How will this be?" Mary asked. The angel said, Mary asked the angel, "Since I'm a virgin." The angel answered, "The Holy Spirit will come on you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. So the Holy One to be born will be called the Son of God. Even Elizabeth, your relative, is going to have a child in her old age, and she who was said to be unable to conceive is in her 6th month. For no word from the Lord will ever fail." "I am the Lord's servant," Mary answered. "May your words be fulfilled." Then the angel left her. And the last part is Mary saying, "Okay, I'm with you.
Yes.
I'm in." It's the yes. Now, I want to back up for a second because the angel said, no word from God will ever fail. I want to just make very clear that when God calls us, we determine what is a win and success. Sometimes the wins and success are unmeasurable to a human standard. And it's hard. That's a hard place to be. That's a hard place to reside in because it's like, but what was the point of that? You might never know until you get to heaven. And that's just not trying to make light of the big things you walk through. But when God's in it, there's always a reason. And there's an outcome that he's doing eternally. That doesn't mean we don't hurt on the inside. That doesn't mean we don't experience loss. It doesn't justify the loss we've experienced. It's just an understood part of there are things that happen in our lives, the goods and the bads and all the in-betweens that just we'll never understand on this side of heaven. But we can understand this is a truth. No word from God will ever fail.
Good.
And somebody needs to hear that. You've walked through a season of loss and you're like, I have failed, or that was a failed this. that, yes, to you and me and our humanness, it is. I'm not minimizing your experience. It is often left, and I look off to the distance really quick to measure my next words, but it should be left in that I wonder what God will do with that. No matter the size of the hole in your heart. I wonder what God will do with that. And look out for that. But again, at the end, what we want to really focus on, Mary said yes. Who was Mary? Let's give some accolades of Mary. Some facts about Mary is what, Lily?
She was...
If you say virgin, I might
young.
throw one of these things.
She was very young.
Young, okay. Give us a guesstimation what they think she would be.
I would say 14 to 18.
Okay. A lot of times I hear like younger. Okay. I hear the max is like around 14, 15, 12 to 15 years old, which would put icon. She would be the year.
That's both historic and
yeah, that would be the gap. Could you picture that?
No, that's wild.
Could you picture an icon coming and going, the Lord,
an angel just showed up.
Yeah, and I'm pregnant.
And told me that I was going to.
And I said yes.
Yeah, I said yes. And
everything you say.
There would be a whole layer of questions. We'd go,
what?
What? What man did you say yes to? And you're calling them who, right? Like you'd just be like, what are you saying, right? It's just wild. I will remind you this when Iris is this age for you to
feel it differently for sure.
Yeah, because we definitely
100%.
Yes.
She is from Nazareth. We already covered that city. She was engaged. Which, what do we know about the engagements of those days, Holly?
Meaning that was a longer process.
Okay. Get there faster. I don't need those. We get it.
I don't know what you mean.
Engagements of those days are like, it's like you're married without the act of sex. Okay. You're married to get unengaged.
The commitment level is
considered a divorce, and you'd have to go through a legal process to undo this. So it's a massive deal. An engagement today is like an Instagram post. A lot of times I'm starting to notice.
And then you plan.
Yeah. An engagement these day and age, you don't even need a ring anymore. Just an Instagram post seems to do it. And then you go get a ring, and it's like, okay, that's part of the story. It's just the way our culture is. But then it was a binding agreement that you were going to get married and that there would be some ceremony later. But it was already a done deal. Within the next year, the bride is going to be swept away by her groom. So she's in that process. And in that culture, to become pregnant before the wedding ceremony meant massive, like there was assumed a big scandal. You were scandalous. You were
promiscuous.
Thank you. There was rejection by family potentially and friends. There was also a potential of death sentence for it. So this is, if you've gone to the church, you've known this. So think about when God's going to drop this message to Mary, knowing what he's asking her to say yes to. And I paused there on purpose to really let that soak in. Because sometimes we go, well, no way God would ask me to do that. That doesn't make sense. That'd be embarrassing to do that. That'd be embarrassing if I should share the gospel in this presentation moment right now. God wouldn't want me to be embarrassed. I think there's a whole lot of embarrassment in this story. It doesn't matter how you swing it. Like, even if you're trying to explain that God did something, you're embarrassed by the moment. Yet, God's messenger showed up to Mary and said, this is going to happen. On your very ordinary day, Mary, God's going to give you an opportunity to say yes that would turn everything upside down in her life and essentially in the world. And we see this pattern throughout today. I mean, when we felt the nudge to go leave Miami, 25th largest church in the United States, go start a church where you know no one. We've said that story enough, but it's people were like, that's not what you do. We felt called to do it. It was slightly, I get it doesn't make sense. Sometimes we really had to explain it. Sometimes we just had to eat crow, which meant we're just not going to share the whole story because we don't have time to share it all. We know it's stupid. It doesn't make sense. Like, you take a step back in a business sense from the 25th largest church down to the smallest church because there's no one attending at the moment. But when you read through the entire Christmas story, Mary and Joseph, it was their willingness to say yes to crazy. So God, I wrote it like this. God's biggest invitations often arrive in our ordinary moments. Doing the dishes, driving to work, pulling weeds, walking the dog. And all of a sudden, God just speaks to you. And it's like, oh. And then we should run that through people, right? Like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. So how do we, what's this mean for us today? It means this. Be prepared for God to show up at any point. that his call might interrupt your daily mundane things you do to disrupt your comfortable life and your routines. A lot of times that comes in mission trips. A lot of people struggle. You should go on mission trips because it's serving other people, but it ruins your routines and your comfortability, so you don't go. 2026, we got a heap of another mission trips. If you haven't gone, stop ignoring the call to go on mission. You don't need to pray about it. It's a yes. It's spreading the gospel and serving other people. That's what we're called to do. Make your schedule work around it. Break the routine. The next time you feel that nudge to serve, to give, to step out in faith, or to have a difficult conversation, don't dismiss it just because it doesn't fit your timeline or make an immediate sense. Okay, number 2 on your thing. God's plans often cost us something. In the story with Joseph, Holly, what was one of the big things it cost him?
His plans, like what he wanted to do.
Okay, that's simple. I like that where you're going, starting simple. Lily, layer it for
ideas.
us. Well, Lily gave me the face. Even online, you was caught online. Her face of, oh no, don't come to me.
No,
he said yes.
It cost him. Wait, what?
What's his yes cost him?
It cost him his dignity because
his reputation.
Yeah, his
Great.
reputation. He has to reveal his face to the people who think that he's lying, that Mary's lying.
Right.
Because she's pregnant, lying about not having.
So the story, Mary comes to him, I'm pregnant, okay? Well, he's going to divorce her privately. So he hears it. He don't believe her one bit, but loves her enough to say, let's do this privately so no one will stone you to death. This is the craziest thing. Like, who would believe that? Like, no matter what age period you live in. Right. God.
Well, that's what it is not only is his yes saying yes, like he's going to take on this ridicule and this criticism and these judgments from other people, but it's like they don't maybe believe that this is even the Messiah. So then it's like, wait, you have a twofold. Yeah. Hold on, Joseph. You made up a story that your wife is going to carry the Messiah. What?
Right. So we go to Matthew chapter 1, and this begins verse 18. This is where Joseph says yes to God's invitation after he knows the crazy that his wife or his fiance is saying. He's like, this is crazy train. I'm going to depart at the next station. I'm going to do it in a way she doesn't come off as crazy insane. She's got God's child inside. I don't even want to say those things. So, Mary, good luck. Good luck. It's just, I'm going to depart this train. Okay, so here, Matthew, let's read a little bit of this. This is how the birth of Jesus and the Messiah came about. His mother Mary was pledged to be married to Joseph, but before they came together, she found out she was pregnant through the Holy Spirit. Because Joseph, her husband, was faithful to the law and yet did not want to expose her publicly to disgrace, he made in his mind to divorce her quietly. But after he had considered this, the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a dream and said, Joseph, son of David, do not be afraid to take Mary home as your wife, because what is conceived in her is from the Holy Spirit, and she will give birth to a son, and you are to give him the name Jesus, because he will save the people from their sins. All of this took place to fulfill what the Lord had said through the prophets. The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son, and they will call him Emmanuel, which means God with us. When Joseph woke up, he did what the angel of the Lord commanded him and took Mary home as his wife, but he did not consummate their marriage until she gave birth to his son, and he gave him the name Jesus. Wonderful context. His action says he said yes, right? Or there's where it doesn't say he said, but his action says. So what's the cost of saying yes to God, Lily?
I mean, there's a whole lot of sacrifice made. Even personally, Joseph had to deal with a lot of what could have been embarrassment or fear of what her family thought, his family thought. So just starting there.
Yeah, the first impressions were
costs.
The cost of this is his first impressions.
Totally.
Were down in the dumps because, like, let's be honest, like, and we all know this as adults, that at some point or another, math starts to get done when you start, somewhere in the line, you meet a couple, they're talking, they got a kid, and at some point in the realm of knowing that couple, you start doing some math, you're like, they might not tell you that their firstborn came before the wedding, but somewhere it clicks with you, you're like, oh. You're not judging them. It's just something clicks, right, Lil? Sure. Holly, yeah, it's not negative. It's like, I wonder what the story is there. Now this is what Joseph had to live with, is the, interesting, right? When it's when you're doing math after the fact is different than this dude walking around, she's not married yet, and she's showing. It's like, ooh, what were you doing 3 months ago? Oh, you're a dirty little man, right? Like that's all happened. So I wrote it like this: for the cost of saying yes for Joseph meant accepting the public misunderstanding, the gossip that would come with Mary's pregnancy. His reputation would take a hit. His business might suffer. People would whisper, point, and make assumptions about his character. Mm-hmm. I again, not correlating to having a child before marriage, but like when we made the decision to move from Miami to here, all kinds of people thought we were crazy. You know what you're doing? I remember 6 months into moving here, somebody said, "Oh, how's it feel to be a nobody again?" That's them pointing. You made a bad decision. No one cared. No one's following you, Scott. No. It's like, cool, I'm not after those accolades. In my head, I didn't rebuttal that way, but that's what they're saying. And it's when people don't understand what God's doing with somebody else's life, this is what they do. Instead of asking, hey, what provoked this? Where's God in the moment? A lot of times when we say yes to God, it takes time for people to catch up to what God's already doing. I remember that with different people in my life as I said I'm going to be a pastor or this. They didn't understand it. And then all of a sudden, 5-6 years into it, they're like, oh, they're catching up with what God's doing. For Mary, the cost of yes meant risking everything. Her reputation her relationship, with Joseph, her standing in the community, her family's honor, and potentially her life. It was going to cost her something. For you, me, Holly, Lily, it's a cost to say yes all the time. To follow Jesus in obedience is a cost. Are you okay with the cost? Are you making that? I wrote like this: both of them, Mary and Joseph, chose faith over fear, obedience over reputation, and God's approval over public opinion. Can you grab a hold of that in the Christmas story? Go, that's for me. I am going to choose faith over fear. I'm going to walk through obedience, what God's asked me to do. I'm going to get to rehab. I'm going to break up with that person because I know it's not good. I'm going to be obedient over reputation. I don't care if I'm looking like a fool here. I'm going to be obedient to God and with the Holy Spirit. I'm looking for God's approval, not a public opinion.
Yeah. I heard it said like this: can what is written of me be said of me? In scripture, right? And so if we're striving for God's opinion to be the ultimate overall for us, then we're also striving to live a life in such a way that what's written about us, that we are chosen, we are created for a purpose, and we walk in that, then people should say that of us. Mm-hmm. So, and I would like to think that people got to the point eventually where they said, those things in such a way for Mary and Joseph.
I think that's great. I want us to ponder this yes that we walk through. We don't just say yes, but our actions do. I love that part with Joseph. His yes followed action. Mary does too, but she don't really have say. Right? Like she can't. Well, like
it's happening.
Yeah, she's pregnant.
Right. I think Joseph had an interesting take on it because he could have just ran.
Right. He could have continued to do it. He could have pulled a Jonah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So his yes was followed by action. So was Mary. But at the beginning, she just said yes and really became willing and able, which is part of a yes. And I just like it's two styles of yes. But in today's terms, it's like saying yes when to a calling that makes your neighbors raise their eyebrows, your coworkers whisper about you, and your extended families question your judgment. It's like this. Let me list a few things of modern day crazies. Of things that God could actually be asking you to do and you haven't been doing it because you're just, what will everybody think? It could be adopting a child when you're well beyond the years of raising a children. You've already done that, been there, and you feel we should adopt and have a place, foster care, whatever it is. But you're like, no way, we're way too old. People will think we're crazy. Maybe leaving a secure job to volunteer at a church. Unlocked church. Maybe it's to start a ministry. You're like, people are going to look at, why would I walk away from that? Or man, we've saved up a whole bunch of money and then God says, give it away. Why would? Because God asked you to standing up for your faith when it might cost you professionally. Choosing forgiveness when everyone expects you to stay angry. Choosing generosity when it means cutting back on a lifestyle. Joseph and Mary showed us that following God sometimes means choosing the more challenging path because it's the right path.
It's good.
That, again, we're trying to take the nativity story.
Challenging path because it's
that's where we say, why do we choose hard? Why do we do hard things? Because it's exercising a muscle that a lot of times God asks us to do hard. That goes against our appetites and goes against our feelings and our emotions. It's to train yourself to choose hard, but we just seek comfort. That's why the ratio of attendance to Unlocked Church and mission trip attendance is so whacked out. Or the attendance to a prayer meeting to a Sunday service is so jacked up. Is because we don't choose hard. Ooh, it cut into my sleeping. But you know what's funny is that we would go and play a video game all night and not have any reservation of doing that to cut into our sleep. But a prayer meeting, I love my sleep. Set up early in the morning, but I want to sleep in. But you would stay up the night before, cutting 2 hours into your sleep to do silly things that are great, and I like doing those things, but do we actually listen to ourselves? Do we actually measure our words? Because sometimes when I listen to your words, I don't call you out. I'm just in my head going, they aren't even paying attention to what they're saying. You just said last night you played video games for 4 hours till 2 a.m. And then the next Sunday you're like, oh yeah, I can't come in early set up. I just need some sleep. It's my only day to sleep in. It's like, but the night before or a week before you, right? 4 hours of video game. And I'll just let you ponder that for a moment. I'll just let you process it, okay? Be willing to follow God's call, even when it costs you comfort, reputation, and security. Don't let your fear of what others might think keep you from what God is asking you to do, because Joseph and Mary could have been there. That's an easy one. Right? That's like tier number one. Hey, no, I don't think I'm going to do that one because I can't hide the pregnancy. I can't hide that one. So no, I'm not going to do that one, God. Can I have something else? Like, it almost makes giving away your life's money easier. Okay, wait, I can actually hide that. I can go make money. People don't have to know about that one, so I won't look so crazy. This one is like, it's there. And the third one, God's promises are worth the risk. I love risk. I really do. There's something that just wakes me up in risk taking. I love the jumping out of airplanes. There's something about that. I like that risk. And so I lean towards God in my relationship when he wants me to do the crazy. It's like, let's go do that. Anytime this says, I don't think we can do that, something rises up in me, the faith rises up. Let's go get that. Let's put it on a free camp. Let's not charge anybody. Let's raise $15,000 to $30,000 to do a free camp. When we could use it as, let's budget, like we're just coming out of our budget meetings with the elders, and we're going, hey, we're going to put close to 30 grand into a budget for next year's summer camp, and we could Unlocked Church could use it. We could really do some really big upgrades in students and kids, but we have a heart to serve kids, the next generation, and spread the gospel. And if you look at the line, that's one of the largest line items that we do for ministry. And it's like, there it sits. It says the heart of this house is the next generation. Again, when you give to Unlocked Church, we're going to do the camps. We're going to invite people to come help serve us. It's wonderful. And I like that risk. When somebody says, ooh, shouldn't maybe we should charge. And it's like, I get that idea, but it's like, no, let's continue to take that risk. It makes no sense. Economically, it doesn't make sense. Spend all this money with no return in money, but we're spreading the gospel. And I love the heart of the elders. Well, is it time for us to charge? And then we all come back. It's like we all test each other. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And then like, yeah, I kind of thought so. I love it when we do that because we're all just checking everybody's heart on it to continue to do free camp, free gospel for everybody. God's promises are worth the risk. We go to Luke chapter 2, verse 1, and it sets up the big risk scenario of Jesus' birth. Luke studied all the occasion and then writes an account here in Luke chapter 2, verse 1. Let's put it on the screen. In those days, Caesar Augustus issued a decree that a census should be taken for the entire Roman world. This was the first census that took place while Cornelius was governor of, did I say that right? No. Cornelius is from a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yes.
Anyone who went to their own town, or And everyone went to their own town to register. So Joseph also went up from the town of Nazareth to Galilee, to Judea, to Bethlehem, to the town of David, because he belonged to the house in the line of David. He went there to register with Mary, who was pledged to be married to him and was expecting their child. While they were there, the time came for the baby to be born. She gave birth to her firstborn, a son. She wrapped him in clothes and placed him in the manger because there was no guest room available to them. You know the story. I mean, Charlie Brown has told the story. Linus and Charlie Brown, I don't know how old that movie is, but it's long ago, says the line, there was no room available, so give birth. This is not new, but this is where the promise is, you start seeing the risk. Wait, hold on. I said yes, God, to giving birth to a child. In my head, it was the way normal pregnancies go. Maybe you've said yes to starting a family and it hasn't gone the way you thought it was. The health of your children isn't what you expected, or the amount, or the time period, the time frame, the pregnancy delivery didn't go the way you pictured it. And God's just saying, hey, I'm part of all of these stories. When you said yes to what I asked you to do, it doesn't mean it's all simple, easy, and mapped out from A to B to C to D. I have a plan, and I'm executing it, and I'm sovereign despite the circumstances. Very easy to say when you are in a neutral position in life and on a scenario, but when you're in the middle of it, you can get real frustrated with God's sovereignty. And it's okay to be frustrated, but it shouldn't change our attitude to take risks and say yes. That's good. Because when we see Mary and Joseph's deal, they said yes. And I do still think when they said yes, the present day circumstances were a little murky, but I do think they thought it would get easier. I'm pretty sure, I mean, all of us as adults and having children in this scenario here, I think when we picture what it looks like to have a family, and it looks like we picture smooth in the best case possible. I mean, Lily, you know this all too well. You had a picture-perfect delivery in your head, right?
Oh, yeah, totally.
I
didn't expect for it to be easy, but I definitely had expectations.
Did it match your expectations?
Not even in the slightest.
Right.
And that's what they say. They say, make your birth plan, then throw it away. But as I read that just now, I was like, man, I wish we had more details about her birth story.
Of course, all the women do.
Love a good birth story.
They do. But I think, again, it's great to have those birth plans, and then I think it's those that say it doesn't go, but those birth plans give you a way to handle the process. You're prepared.
There's some importance to it, for sure.
Because it can't be we just living on a prayer only, because that's not wise.
But I think the ultimate thing to remember in that, and that maybe if you're watching and you're gonna deliver a baby soon, it's like what Scott said before, that is more important, is that God's sovereignty above all else is the most important thing. And remembering that through the journey will help you.
Yeah.
So,
and I, again, I think when I read through, God's promised these to Mary and Joseph a whole heap, right? He's going to be the King of Kings, the Lord of Emmanuel, God with us all the time, all year round, not just Christmas. Those are big promises. But when you get to the scenarios that we're in this story right now, where baby Jesus is being born where donkeys eat, it almost is like, well, this promise doesn't feel or look like a promise. But it's because it's not meeting our expectations. And again, the thing I can correlate it to a lot in my life that you guys see, and there's so many more areas that just you don't see, is starting Unlock Church. We had a plan, Holly and I, and it looked a certain way, and then day one, it went south, and it was like, oh, this doesn't feel like I thought God was going to do. Mm-hmm. Because I had an expectation that it was going to be mega church day one. We were going to be the 24th largest church in the world because I was in the 25th. To do it better, we have to, right? And it's like, wait. God promised there would be a church called Unlock Church in the Twin Cities. But he never told me how big and what we would be doing and all those things. It was just go start a church. And along the journey has been defined. So when your promises don't look like a promise, don't lose faith.
That's good. I love the comparison of the barn, because if that's how it turned out, like anything how it turns out for us, we shouldn't question. We should, like what Mary and Joseph were, we should be flexible and go, God, you're still in this, I'm still in this. Even if it's crazy. I love that comparison of the barn.
Yeah, I think if you're in a barn type situation in your life and you're being obedient, it sounds like that's how God works.
Right.
That he's still working his plan. Because the born in the manger in the barn gave us indication how God oftentimes works. Is that he takes the most unlikely people to do his great work. We see that through the Christmas story with the shepherds, Mary and Joseph. They're not married. They're not the best of the best. They're just ordinary people that are willing to say yes. What you want to be is an ordinary individual that'll say yes to the best plan ever, and that's his. But what happens is we get feisty. It's not happening fast enough, so we go get the guy we need to be dating. Okay, God said I wouldn't be seen. So this, we see throughout Scripture. We do it ourselves. Or I don't want to be single any longer, and so we just take it upon ourselves to go to... And God's like, that's not a promise of mine. You've created a mess. I'm not leading you through the mess. Sometimes, like this can be... A barn can be messy. Messy situations, God can lead us through in obedience because it's part of the journey to teach and show and all of those things. But oftentimes, we make a mess in our lives out of disobedience. Is that we're taking things on our own and going to define it, where a yes is, I will follow you. You're the leader. I follow you. Ever played follow the leader with little kids? They think it's the funniest to not follow the leader. Mm-hmm. We never grow out of that. We don't want to follow the leader. Here's what's remarkable. The fulfillment of God's promise doesn't come wrapped in comfortability and convenience. The journey to Bethlehem was 90 miles of difficult travel. Mary was 9 months pregnant, and they arrived. There was no room in the inn, no comfortable birthing suit, no family nearby to help. The delivery room was a stable. The baby's first bed was a feeding trough. The attending medical staff well, there was none.
A donkey.
But it was exactly as God had planned, fulfilling ancient prophecies and bringing salvation to the world in the most humble, unexpected way possible. And again, it's all baked in there. We don't like it. Because especially A-type, I want to go A, B, C, and God's like, we're going to go A, 2, we're going to go 3, and then we're going to go D. Like he can change, right? It's like, no, just do numbers or A's. Don't do that. But God's like, no, I have a plan. Joseph and Mary, you and me have to learn God's timetable. We have to learn it's not my timeline, it's his timetable. We have to learn it's God's methods, not my expectations. God's faithfulness is always certain. A couple bullet points. Mary had to wait 9 months to see the promise fulfilled. It wasn't immediate. Lily, do you remember? I remember this with you. Like when you told us you were pregnant, no one really else knows, and you're like, I don't even feel like I'm pregnant. Nothing's changed. You would ask Holly, when do you start feeling them? Remember those days or no?
Yeah, I remember thinking that for sure.
It's like, I don't want to tell people because I don't look pregnant. Do you remember all that?
That I didn't want to tell people?
Yeah, you're like, it's like I can tell people, but there's nothing to show. And then like you started showing a little bit and you're like, I don't know, I'm not very, I just feel bloated. I don't feel pregnant. Yes. Remember all of that?
Yes, there was definitely an in-between I didn't know about.
Yeah. And again, those are those moments. Am I really pregnant? And
I'm sure Mary had a lot of time to also doubt and question and wonder.
But the crazy thing about our time, and I remember you going and leaving the office and going to get an ultrasound, and you loved them because it's like, oh yeah, I am pregnant.
Right. Mary had none of that.
None of that.
Yeah.
For those 3 months of nothing, right? She's going, am I really pregnant? Am I crazy? Am I just lying to everybody?
Yeah, it's wild.
And then when you start to show a little bit, is it like, am I just gaining holiday weight? Right? Like, what? You just...
I mean, she did come right through Thanksgiving. So.
Yeah, I mean, right. Yeah, they had that. They had that. So you just go into that scenario and you're just like, it took a long time for that confidence to build that God is going to do what she said yes to.
Yeah. And God's patient in that too, which is really cool.
And again, people go, well, that's only 6 months. I have to wait a year. But I don't care how long the time is. waiting time with God seems like forever, especially when you're thinking you're pregnant. It's like those days go by real slow.
Yeah. And I think it's important to remember most people, if not everyone, is waiting on something.
Yeah.
Like social experiment, talk to 5 people and ask them, are you waiting on anything? And
waiting from God.
Waiting from God on anything. You're waiting for someone to find him. You're waiting for marriage. You're waiting to be pregnant. You're waiting for your baby to be born or whatever, right? Someone to come back to him. I just think that there's time in the season to get a little bit more empathetic toward others and go, they got something too. They're waiting on something too.
I mean, I think when you process through Mary and Joseph and they say yes, their lives radically shifted. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
It got more exciting. As a reader, it gets more exciting. But for them, it's like, I just want life to go back to the easy. I want to go back to where it once was, because Joseph had to endure months, if not probably years, of whispers and gossips and raised eyebrows. Oh, he couldn't wait to marriage. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's the guy. That's the carpenter. Yeah. That, wing, wing.
There were probably people who doubted them. Jesus' whole life.
I think so. But they both had to trust God, that God's plan was bigger than their comfort. Because as soon as they say yes, as rumors start, it wasn't that she had to wait to show for the discomfort. It was that she was going to be divorced privately and all that bubbling up to the surface. Comfort went right out the window. And then they had to believe that obedience to God would ultimately be worth whatever it cost them. And there's the thing that pushes all of us to the risky yes, is that we should get to the belief that obedience to God is the ultimate and would ultimately be better and worth more than whatever it costs them in reputation, financially, where to live, all of those things. That's the thing that tips it.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
In the story of the Messiah, the King of Kings and Lord of Lords being born in a manger adds to the persona that he came to serve and not be served. He came to be the low, not the tall, not the high, not a king of the world. Remember that God's promises may require perseverance before you see their fulfillment. Don't give up on what God has called you to do just because you don't see the immediate results. You might be in the middle of a yes. You said yes 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and you've paused, you've hit idle on starting that business. And this is going to reignite that for 2026. You're like, I'm going to get on that. Obedience, your yes. I wrote it like this: your yes can change everything. What was the last thing you were supposed to say yes on? You need to go back and revisit it that you haven't. Or what do you feel right now you're supposed to be doing in 2026 that you're scared to do? As long as it's God, go do it. Risk without God, that's your own risk, and it has its own outcomes. This is when we're talking about God called you to do something.
That's good.
It doesn't mean it'll be easy. I mean, we could all tell you stories where we felt God led us to do something, and it was difficult. Again, using Lily's story, I'm surprised she didn't jump in with, I'm the one leveraging all your birth stuff, but you felt to move at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? And that was chaos.
Yeah.
And you move, and then you get in, and then all of a sudden something weird happens with the bank. Remember that? It was like,
oh yeah.
How do I know this better?
Our appraisal.
Yeah. It was just wild. Like all those circumstances of the appraiser that passed away, and it all of a sudden started going, oh, is this going to work out?
Yeah.
How's it going to work out? We're months away. We're weeks, days away from delivery date. We now don't own a house. We've moved in. We might have to move out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember all that crazy? Is it so raw for you that you just push it down?
I'm thinking of other things too, but doesn't make that part of my story less real. And I don't remember ever fearing that we weren't going to be able to stay in the house. I did think that would be crazy if we had to pack all this up and move again. We would do it. But I just remember really feeling like God was faithful with this. He'll be faithful. And like Scott said about the call to Minnesota, like it's a strong feeling. It's a strong sense. The more that you follow Jesus and do what we're talking about today, the more confident you'll be in that Holy Spirit sense. And And the best part is as you follow, you'll get confirmation that God has you where he wants you, and you'll see that people are in your life cheering you on, or God is using a house or move to Minnesota to glorify him and to bring more people along in the journey. And so the yes multiplies. Yeah. The yes continues on, and that's what's so cool about following Jesus, and what's so cool about Mary and Joseph's story. Their yes continues on to us today and really impacts us today.
I love what you're saying there, Lil. When we say yes to God's crazy invitation, it's not building our kingdom, it's building his kingdom. Mm-hmm. When it's a yes for our kingdom, it's us. But when it gets past that, our homes, our vehicles, whatever it is, impacts the greater good of a community. That's what you're looking for. And that's what's baked into a yes of discomfort and risk, that you build his kingdom and his will's done, and you make an impact that outlasts just your life. And that's, I know, what we want, but it's in all of the things we talked about. So let me pray for you. It's going to be real simple, this prayer. So close your eyes really quick. God, call us into the unknown and the risky. May we be about risky, holy business. Mm-hmm. Give us the boldness and the capacity to go do it. Make it so in our lives. I thank you for the Christmas story of how your birth came about that bakes in all these principles. May we look for those moments to say yes with you. May we search with you where we need to be saying yes to making a kingdom impact. In your name, amen.
Amen. Good stuff.
Thank you, everybody, for joining with us today. We will see you only a few days from now on Christmas Eve, right here on YouTube, to explore another part of the Christmas story as we wrap up Christmas with you. I was just thinking as well, we have a special video that is a stop motion video. What if the Avengers were at the nativity story?
What?
It's been built in studios around here. You're gonna love it. It's to put a smile on your face. So if you got kids are gonna love sitting around watching this with you. So our Christmas Eve service is gonna be a great one for you to grab all your family, and we're going to speak to the grandma and grandpas, the aunts and uncles, you and your children. So you don't want to miss it. Okay. Last thing we want you to do, we want you to text "I want some" to the church's phone number. If you do that, I want some. That's all we need to hear from you.
That's
you
what
need
they
to
need to
also,
do.
here's the number, 651-276-8797. We're going to try to get, you got to do this. You can only text us on Sunday. That gives us 2 days to get you something for Christmas Eve. So I want some. Don't miss it. You have to also say, I want some, with your mailing address. If you just say, I want some, we cannot send it digitally. This is going to be through mail. So do it. I want some.
Mysterious.
Text that with your mailing address. We'll try to get it to you by Christmas Eve. If you want to find out what we're mailing, tune in on the 24th, everybody. Merry Christmas. If we miss you, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
Bye.